Oh shit. Here we go again.
It's false. No way. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication.
And so it begins. That's right. We could have. Now, I don't want to jinx it because this was very good for me, my viewers, a lot of my peers in the commentary space, but we could be headed for, I don't want to jinx it, but we could be headed for the Last Jedi levels of cringe here. We could be headed there. We could be headed for a full-blown battle between OG fans and new fans and new fans and media. It's shaping up like it. I told you in my first video earlier today that if you didn't like Lord of the Rings, what were they going to call you? They were going to call you all the worst things in the book, and it's already begun. Pointing out that lore dictates certain things in media and that Amazon is obviously checking boxes suddenly makes you the worst kind of person on the planet. It's such a cope. It's such a pathetic deflection and gaslight from legitimate criticism that it's like you don't even want to watch the show. The only thing motivating me to watch Amazon's The One Ring or whatever it's called is going to be like watching Batwoman, like to enjoy the pure cringe. Twitter is already absolutely loaded with people who are having a meltdown over anybody criticizing the idea that, you know, dwarves lived underground and that, you know, dwarves were white in Tolkien's book and there's lore to support it. And the thing is, let me explain something that you already know if you're a viewer of my channel. It's not about the existence of, let's say, race-swapped characters. Maybe to a very tiny percentage of people it is, but that's not the main criticism. The main criticism is that it's lazy. If you want to have an Asian dwarf, have at it, but you better have the lore to support it. You don't just toss them in there and say, there's Asian dwarves now. Oh, a race of people that live underground and don't have any melanin in their skin. Let's make them black, because that's what people push back against. And then the gaslight is always that, like, oh, well, you just don't like black people. And proof positive, within minutes, they had this article. They literally had this article preloaded, because I don't know exactly when they announced it. It was probably like early this morning, 9-10 a.m. 4 hours ago, this article was already published from Slash Film. Oh, shame. It seems racists won't be able to watch the new Lord of the Rings TV show. I don't think that this is an awesome marketing ploy. Let's look at some. It has 40 likes, by the way. This is also what's hilarious to me. Where did all these followers go for these people? Slash Film has 192,000 followers, 40 likes in 5 hours. 40 likes in 5 hours. Let's look at some of the replies. Trump 2024, Lamau, I at least expected a couple of days before the Corpo Cope article started getting dumped out, 128 likes. Fan blaming bingo. They see this bingo card as a required checklist. Jacob is writing, the mainstream media is already going after the fans who don't like Amazon Studios' Lord of the Rings fan fiction. It took about a day. It's dishonest, gross, and disgusting. There's not a single person in here agreeing with them. I'm just here for the ratio. Oh Lord of the Kangs, the PR machine starts spitting for thee. And again, yes, there are legitimate, like, people that have an issue with race. I don't support that. I've never supported that. But this is what we're talking about in meme format. We can see this. Chad 2000's Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings trilogy. I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn. I will claim the throne and save my people. Based. All these people saying based, right? You've done well, my boys, father. 2030 Bran TM, Lord of the Rings trilogy. I am Tanya. I'm Aragorn's daughter. She, them. We must fight the Gondorian nationalists. I mean, is it that far off? No, we don't know. We don't know anything about the show, right? But all we know is the reactions to these first clips, and people are memeing on it. And I don't blame them, because it's you have these articles already. Lord of the Rings, like it's funny. It's, you know, it walks a fine line. You know, it'd be like them rebooting Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with an all-white cast, and then anybody that questioned it calling them racist. Is it any different than that? Am I oversimplifying? Maybe. Maybe. I don't see a single person agreeing with them, though. Not one. Let's see the article. The Lord of the Rings of Rings of Power showrunners address backlash to diverse casting. Did they? When was how do they address it? It happened like it's happening in real time. What do you mean they address the backlash? Any adaptation of the work of a beloved author is sure to inspire equal amounts of excitement and knee-jerk criticism. Actually, no. Because if you just leave it alone, people would just be excited about it. That's how it works. We saw this with, did Ghostbusters Afterlife get demolished with criticism? Yeah, I didn't love the child, the Stranger Things, Stranger Things vibes, but no one was like, oh, look at my diversity. You know, it's funny how they pick and choose when that criticism is suddenly there or it isn't there. When Amazon first released a collection of almost 24 character posters, one poster in particular drew the ire of some of the absolute worst internet trolls when posted on Twitter, simply because the character's barely visible hands revealed a person of color in the cast. The fact that resulting onslaught of racist replies forced the official Rings of Power account to take the step at hiding some of the most appalling responses. Instances like this didn't escape the notice of the creative team behind the show, who took the opportunity afforded by our first real look at the series to address the commitment to reimagining The Lord of the Rings Ring of Power. Tolkien is for everyone. Right, it is for everybody. Is there something about the characters being white that means Asian people can't watch it? I don't understand this. It only felt natural for us to take the adaptation of Tolkien's work will reflect the world, what the world actually looks like. Why did that feel natural to you? It's a piece of fiction. Well-established fiction that's been around for, 70 years? We know what Tolkien's world looked like. Why did it feel natural for you to meddle with it? And now all you're doing is the fact that you're getting, this kind of media coming out and calling fans who have an issue with it racist. All you're doing is creating a huge group of people that will downvote this, that will give this movie bad reviews, and that will talk bad about it. Why do they do this? Do they think that it's just worth it? Like that the no press is bad press? I don't believe that that's the case. A vocal segment of the fan base made their racism known because, you can't criticize it because, otherwise you're just racist, loud and clear, and thought the people of color existing Middle Earth, which it needs to be said, is fully in canon with Tolkien's writing, though his depictions of non-white cultures weren't always the most flattering. And now those behind the scenes are speaking out to let everyone know. Among many new and familiar faces with that comprise the ensemble cast, The Rings of Power will feature actor Ismael Cruz Cordova in the role of a Sylvian elf named Arendir, becoming the first person of color in the franchise to play an elf. The report describes his forbidden relationship with mortal named Bronwyn, played by Nazanin, but I don't care, Bonaidi, who is Iranian. Okay. Boniadai? Sorry. I don't mean to mispronounce it. I'm just not good at it. I don't care, of Jamaican descent, blah, blah, blah. Sophia Namvet is the franchise's very first black woman will portray the franchise's first female dwarf, Disa. How's that for a statement of intent? Executive producer Lindsay Weber reflects on this and saying, so are you saying that you were more interested in sticking it to the haters than writing a good show? Yes, the writing will determine if the show's good or not. But Twitter is full of losers that can't afford, that are still on their parents' Amazon Prime, that won't actually watch this show, that probably never saw the original trilogy and probably never read the book. I'm not saying everything in the show has to be exactly the same. I know some people feel that way, but I don't. I don't think that there's inherently an issue with, adding some level of diversity to things. It just has to be organic, and history has proven that it almost never is. That it's lazy, ham-fisted, and shoehorned in, and then it reflects in the writing. Just look at shows like Batwoman that had terrible writing, but all the media was like, but lesbian. Well, but she sleeps with women, so watch the show. No, the show sucked. And if you see, all these people just saying, oh, if you have any criticism, that I think that's reductive, and that's what the show writers probably feel like. Oh, well, it's just these people these only Klansmen don't like our show. That's not the case. It won't be the case. But enjoy antagonizing the fandom. It works out super well. I remember Ghostbusters 2016 doing that. How'd that turn out? Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.